You know, some marriages are so bad, if you're watching them from the outside, you start thanking your stars for your own problems. Like, yes, my partner never does the dishes, but at least they haven't accused me of witchcraft. Yet. Let me tell you a story. Picture a village in Namibia. Dusty roads, women carrying baskets on their heads, and a little flower called the purple violet growing quietly by the roadside. Beautiful, quiet, and resilient. Kind of like the woman in our story, before her life took a sharp left turn. Meet Kauna. She used to be as lovely as that purple violet. Everyone said so. She married a man named Shane who, on their wedding day, looked like he might just be a decent human being. But that dream got crushed quicker than a termite under a goat's hoof.
I ain't seen a beating like that since somebody stuck a banana in my pants and turned a monkey loose.
At first, the marriage seemed all right. But soon, Shane starts pulling stunts. He disappears for days, sleeps elsewhere, struts around with his mistress, and basically turns into the type of husband who makes you wish there was a customer service for marriages so you could return the product. Kauna, poor woman, is left with a cold bed and a colder heart. She doesn't even get sympathy. Nope. Instead of support, her fellow women blame her. They're like, why did you let your man stray? As if she served him a side chick on a silver platter. Even the church, the one place you'd expect comfort, joins the chorus of judgment. The church leader is more interested in appearances and gossip than actual compassion. And society? They act like Shane's behavior is normal. Just men being men, right? But here's the twist. The story isn't told by Kauna. It's narrated by her friend Mee Ali. Now, Mee Ali is happily married to a man named Michael, who's kind, respectful, and helpful. I know, shocker, a good man in African literature? We love to see it. Michael treats Mee Ali like a human being and not a piece of property, which makes their relationship stand out like a rose in a sea of thorns. Through Mee Ali's eyes, we witness Kauna's struggle, her loneliness, her public shame, her silent suffering. And then, it happens. One evening, Shanj comes back from his mistress's house, sits down in his chair, and drops dead. Just like that. No warning, no final words, no accountability. Guess who gets blamed? Exactly. Kauna. Because apparently being sad and not crying at your husband's funeral is suspicious. And because she didn't wail and roll on the ground like tradition expects, they said she bewitched him. You'd think they'd give her a medal instead. Thank you for your service, madam. One less abuser in the village. But no, she's accused of sorcery.
Magic.
Then comes the real circus. Kauna is hounded, insulted, and stripped of everything. Her husband's belongings? Taken. Her reputation? Shredded. The whispers grow louder. She killed him for his property. She's heartless. She never cried. But let's be honest. How do you mourn a man who was already dead to you while he was alive? Mee Ali stays by her side through it all. So does this fierce old woman named Mukwankala, one of those don't mess with me grandmothers who probably scares demons away just by staring at them. These women are the real MVPs. But here's where the book gets even more thoughtful. We start seeing patterns. Kauna isn't the only one suffering. There are other women whose husbands beat them, cheat on them, or treat them like furniture. There's another funeral where a widow is dragged through the mud, accused of witchcraft and dispossessed, all because she dared to outlive her husband. And while most of the men in the book range from drunkards to dullards, the women are out there grinding, farming, trading, thinking, questioning. They're the backbone of the community, yet the least respected. Mee Ali, our narrator, starts to wonder, why do women help uphold these injustices? Why do they turn on each other instead of challenging the men? Why does silence look more righteous than justice?
Why?
And now you're probably wondering what this story is and where it's from. Let me introduce you to the novel, The Purple Violet of Oshaantu by Neshani Andreas. This novel was first published in 2001 by Heinemann as part of the African Writers series. It's set in rural Namibia and paints a painfully honest portrait of marriage, womanhood, community, and complicity. And let me tell you, it doesn't pull punches. But it also doesn't preach. It simply shows life as it is, and as it could be.
My life is complete.
What I love about this novel is how deceptively simple it is. The writing isn't flashy, it's grounded. It flows like village gossip, calm, steady, but layered with depth. And by choosing Mee Ali as the narrator, Neshani Andreas creates an interesting dynamic. We're watching Kauna's story unfold from the outside. We get commentary, sympathy, even insight, but we don't quite feel Kauna's pain directly. Now that has both pros and cons. On the one hand, it emphasizes how women observe each other's suffering without always intervening. On the other, it keeps us, readers, a bit emotionally distanced from Kauna. There were moments I wished Kauna herself was the narrator. I wanted to hear her voice, her raw thoughts, not just what she told Mee Ali, but what she dared not tell anyone.
Tell me!
Themes? Oh, plenty. First, patriarchy, everywhere. From homes to the church to funerals. Men get away with being trash because society lets them. And women, sometimes knowingly, help them do it. Second, domestic violence and emotional neglect. Shange doesn't just hurt Kauna with his fists, but with his indifference, betrayal, and abandonment. Third, the role of tradition. The book shows how customs, especially around death and inheritance, are weaponized against women. Widowhood becomes a punishment rather than a time of mourning. Fourth, female solidarity. Though rare, it's powerful. Mee Ali and Mukwankala are rays of hope. They remind us that things can be different, that not all women will stand by and watch others suffer. And then there's the concept of the perfect marriage. Mee Ali and Michael's marriage isn't perfect because they never fight. It's perfect because it's built on mutual respect. It offers a counterpoint. It says, yes, good marriages are possible, but only when both people show up as equals. Now let's talk about the author. Neshani Andreas was born in Walvis Bay, Namibia in 1964. She trained as a teacher and worked in education for much of her life. The Purple Violet of Oshaantu was her first novel, and unfortunately her only one. She passed away in 2011. But this book, it remains a quiet storm in African literature. It doesn't shout, it doesn't roar, but it lingers, like the scent of dust after rain, like the echo of a woman's scream no one paid attention to.
That's exactly the answer I wanted.
So, if you're looking for a novel that talks about women, not just as victims, but as thinkers, survivors, fighters, The Purple Violet of Oshaantu is for you. If you want to understand how patriarchy isn't just enforced by men, but maintained by entire communities, read this. And if you're one of those guys who thinks being a man means dominating women, maybe read this twice, then call your mother. I highly recommend this book for anyone interested in gender issues, African rural life, or just good, grounded storytelling. It's especially perfect for the African Reading Challenge, and for readers who want to support and explore more voices from Namibia. Let me know if you've read it, or if it's going on your TBR pile. And if you've ever known a Shanj in your life, woo, drop a comment. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep reading, keep thinking, and keep growing. Hey, thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you're interested in diving deeper into this book, I've left some links down in the description. You can use it to grab yourself a copy and keep the adventure going. And if you're in the mood for more great reads, don't go just yet. Click on one of the videos popping up right now that I think you'll love. And don't forget to give this review a like, leave a comment, or even subscribe if you'd like to see more. Every bit of support helps us grow this little community of book lovers. See you in the next one.